Today, I want to talk about some truths about dating and attraction, some things that I've never spoken about. And these are things that I've gathered from my own experiences, my own life, through dating a lot of women, which you guys definitely know by now. And just overall coaching men over the past, I would say over a year now, and seeing some of their situations, all right? Number one is phenotypes versus objective attraction. So let's dissect both. Phenotypes, if you guys don't know by now, is pretty much something that describes and classifies how you are as a person, the archetype you fit in. Your skin color, your facial features, everybody falls within a certain phenotype. My specific phenotype, for example, would be like a Michael B. Jordan, a Broderick Hunter. Your phenotype might be somebody else, who a celebrity somebody says that you tend to look like, or maybe somebody that you may model yourself after. Now, objective attraction is just looking good no matter what phenotype you are. So you have the facial symmetry, the facial features that say that you are an attractive person. Your bone structure, your jawline, your hair, all this stuff can make somebody objectively attractive. Some people tend to be attracted more towards phenotypes than they are objective attraction. So what I realized is that whenever somebody has like a strong preference or a type, they're not necessarily looking for traits of, is this person objectively attractive? They're looking for, is this person just fitting that archetype or that phenotype that I liked? Now, if you guys don't know, something within attraction is said that average is actually highly attractive. So like average looking faces that don't show extremes amounts of uniqueism. I'm not sure if that's a word, but the point is like the average is what's most attractive. So what I tend to learn about myself is that I tend to have more of an average face. I'm not saying that I look average, but I get told that I look like so many people, and that tells me that my face is like a average combination of what is considered attractive. Now, moving on to the phenotype side of things, women that I've attracted, especially on an interracial basis, so white, Hispanic, which I've had majority of my cases with interracial dating, these women aren't necessarily attracted to me for my averageness and genetic features, though that could play a small role. But for the most part, a lot of these women are attracted to a phenotype. And even ask yourself this, like, do you think an average white girl is hotter than an attractive black girl? I know this is like low-key racism, but I've been with friends and people who have told me they thought that an average white girl was more attractive than a hot black girl, or an average Hispanic girl was more attractive than a hot white girl, right? That's because they're not attracted to genetics and features, they're more so attracted to phenotypes and archetypes. So I say this to say that you can not only look match yourself, not only in an objective way, but you can also look match yourself to a certain phenotype that is highly attractive and popular that you can best fit into given your current phenotype right now. Of course, it's gonna take like a lot of research and figuring out what is the best look, but just overall, especially with interracial dating, I think more so people are attracted to phenotypes and archetypes than they are objective attraction. Now, the second truth I've realized is that once you look max or make yourself more attractive to where you're like objectively an 8, getting past that 8 starts to lead to diminishing returns. Not the diminishing returns in a negative way, but more so the amount of women that you're attracting, the amount of opportunities that you're getting really aren't that much higher. And a lot of you guys have asked me, like, you know, of course I'm always looking for ways to make myself more attractive, but I really think in terms of my looks right now, I've hit my peak, meaning that I've done pretty much everything I can do at this point in time to really make myself more attractive towards the female gaze at least. Now, getting above that to like the Chanel prize, the male model status to where you start looking like a demigod is just not worth it, guys. Like, you're not gonna notice a big difference in terms of the woman you attract by getting a little bit more attractive past an 8. Like, you pretty much get all your results in terms of from women, from life, all the advantages of being handsome once you're at that like 7.5 mark. That's why I'm not sure if it made sense for me to kind of play around with my facial hair as much as I did, because at that point in time when I was like, okay, what's the best hairstyle? What's the best facial hairstyle? These are like such small things that don't affect my objective attraction too much, that really don't make a significant difference. I told you guys like some of my top phenotypes and archetypes that I've tried and looks match into. But overall, besides having like a really long beard or something that really doesn't show off my features, I've learned that I get pretty much the same results in terms with women and other experiences, like kind of no matter what my facial hair is. And I think because if I change my facial hair style, I'm still considered at least a 7.5. I might attract different types of women based upon my look, but overall that doesn't change the fact that me myself at a base layer is like a 7.5 to 8. So for that reason, I didn't notice like a huge drastic difference versus somebody going from like a 5 to an 8. Like their life is gonna change. So if you get like a jaw surgery or some sort of surgery that really transforms your looks, or maybe you lose a shit ton of weight, like that's gonna be the biggest difference from you than going from like an 8 to like an 8.5 or an 8 to a 9. Number 3, you will either pay with your time or pay with your money. There are rare cases that you cannot or don't have to pay with anything in terms of attracting women and sleeping with women. But for the most part, most men will either pay with their time or the money, or usually both for that matter. Whenever you go out on dates, you're obviously spending time. It's said that before you get a woman like comfortable to sleep with you, you have to have spent anywhere from 3 to 6 hours with her based upon like old PUA stuff, right? And from my own experience, that's about accurate. When a woman was really high interest, like super high interest, you know, it's been like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 1 hour, you know, to build comfort, because the attraction is so high that you can kind of skip steps. But for the most part, it's gonna be like 3 to 6 hours. So alongside with that, what do most guys do? They go out on dates. They go get drinks. They go on date number 2. They go get more drinks. They play arcade, right? So by this point in time, you're 3 to 6 hours in and probably like $100 in, $50 to $100 in, give or take, right? And so when you view it holistically, you start to realize that when it comes to like attracting women, like you have to pay with these two things no matter what. The only caveat is that you have a lot of status. So whenever you have like a shit ton of status, you can attract women, and that barrier of comfort goes all the way down, and usually that attraction is all the way high. So you can literally like come over, we don't even talk, let's make out, give me head, let's have sex, it is what it is, you go home, bam. That's superstar level. I'm talking like you're a rapper, a rock star, an actor. You know, you think if Brad Pitt DM'd like an average girl in Tennessee who was like a 7, 8, you know, she's attractive but nothing special, do you think she would make Brad Pitt take her out on 3 dates? No, bro, no. Brad Pitt could sleep with her in 20 minutes, given that she was already attracted to him and she knows who Brad Pitt is, right? If you're a random celebrity and nobody knows who you are, then that makes no sense. But like her ideal celebrity crush, actor, musician, wherever it may be, he could sleep with her without any time or money spent, just the way it is. And so I realized this within my own dating strategy, and I was like, I wanna cut corners. I'll still invest time, but I wanna put that money threshold as low as possible, and time threshold. So what I did is I cut logistics in half. Instead of going out on dates, I would only see the girls who would come right over. Now the issue with this is the fact that the type of girl who comes right over, they hit a few things. One, they're either highly attracted to you, like very highly attracted, they're naive or young, they're traveling, and or they're just simply a slut. They have no sexual boundaries, and for that reason, if you do follow a dating strategy like that, then more than likely you're not gonna attract like genuinely good, wholesome women, because those women won't make you wait, but they'll at least want to meet you in a public place first, right? Like, there's only a certain type of girl who comes over on the first date. And looking back on my own dating experiences, I mean, the girls who I see long term, the girls who I saw any potential with, like none of them came over on the first date, keep in mind. I had a few rotation girls come over on the first date, but besides that, it was always like I closed date number 2 or date number 3, and I invested a little time and a little money into it, right? So it just is what it is. You gotta accept the hard truth, and most guys will pay with their time or money. If you're enjoying this content, you're gonna be mind blown by my Patreon. As a supporter, you'll get access to now over 100 videos of in-depth dating insights, valuable self-improvement tips, and juicy uncut content you won't find anywhere else. And no, you won't break the bank. You're gonna get access to everything for the literal price of a sandwich. This is a great way to support me and my work so that I can keep creating high quality content for you. I'm engaging with my Patreon community and posting new videos every single week. So if you want more value and exclusive access, head over to my Patreon page. I'll leave a link down below. Now, back to the video. The next truth is that genuine desire is the purest form of attraction and love in a lot of cases that I've realized. So what is genuine desire? Genuine desire is when a woman, in my opinion, is highly physically attracted to you to where she doesn't have a choice whether or not to decipher if she's attracted to you or not. It's just a pure form of desire. You ever looked at a woman and she was so hot, so attractive, you started visualizing shit with her, like maybe like you guys going out on a date, you sleeping with her, whatever it may be, or you get this inkling feeling in your stomach. It's like butterflies almost. And she's like that attractive, you don't have a choice but to be attracted to her. That's called genuine desire, in my opinion. I don't believe genuine desire is formed based upon your status. I don't think genuine desire is formed based upon your charisma or personality. I think true genuine desire is based upon and within raw physical attraction. And so through discovering that, I realized and construed my dating strategy to always have genuine desire at the forefront. So that's a big reason on dating apps why I stopped messaging women first, is because I found the fact that whenever I messaged a woman first, of course there could be genuine desire there and attraction could have been built, but I wasn't getting the most out of the woman initially. And I found that the woman who messaged me first had a high basis of genuine desire. Like they were so attracted to me, they didn't have a choice but to message me first. Or even out in real life, the girl was so attracted to me, she had to get her friend to approach me. She's so attracted to me, she had to say something to me even though she normally doesn't approach guys. Now, for an average guy to get genuine desire, it's gonna take a few things, right? It's gonna, one, stop being average. Two, sort of date within your league. So if you're a 5 guy, you might get genuine desire from like a 5 or 4 sort of girl. Maybe. I do also believe that on the majority of basis, genuine desire is attracted based upon a woman 1 to 2 points lower than your own personal value. Sexual market value or physical attraction, depending on the context of where you're meeting a woman at. So with that being said, you might have to lower your standards. A 5 guy, a 6 guy, more than likely is not gonna get genuine desire from an 8 or a 9. They could get other desire in other aspects. So if you got money, if you got a lot of status, but take away that and you realize that the woman isn't actually into you. That's why I love the idea of looks matching and making yourself more attractive, because despite if you have money, if you have status, you can still attract these women. That's why guys ask me is like, does your status help with attracting women, or does your money, the car you had, the C8 Corvette you had, did that help with attracting women? And the answer is no. None of that helped with attracting women, because my dating strategy was based upon attracting women with my looks. And then I used other things in my life to help retain women and to make them even more attracted towards me. It's like a attraction amplifier. Imagine you're attracted to a woman highly. She's like a 8 or a 9 to you. The hips, the ass, the booty, just absolutely everything you see or want within a woman. Then you come to find out, oh, she comes from a good family. Oh, she has a loving relationship with her dad or her mom. Oh, she's family oriented, she wants kids. All these things are other amplifiers upon her that make you want to keep her. And that's definitely a red pill man's kryptonite. I can make a whole separate video on talking about a red pill man's kryptonite, which is pretty much the woman I've described. So just know that you're gonna get the best and most out of a woman if you can attract her based upon genuine desire and not any other aspect upon your sexual market value. Lastly, the woman you keep is a reflection of how well you are doing within your life. I realized I met guys, I coach guys, I'm friends with guys who have no problem attracting women. They go on dates every week. They might even sleep with some of these women, but for the most part, they can't retain for anything. It's always like a new date every week. Maybe they don't want to retain, but a lot of these guys actually do want to keep some of these women around and they just simply can't do it. Sure, there could be other problems. Sex game is bad. They might have some sort of personality defect or ick that turns women off that they don't realize. But for the most part, how well you're doing in your life in terms of your status, in terms of your financial well-being, in terms of where you're living, what car you're driving, stuff like that, plays a direct correlation into the woman you keep. Because once again, like I said, if you're attractive, you can attract women, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna keep them. I guaranteed you, some of my friends who attract a lot of women, or some of the guys I teach, if they lived in a penthouse on the 40th floor in Miami, drove a Porsche, or like a G-Wagon, do you really think that these guys will have trouble keeping women in their lives? Or after they had sex, or maybe after a few dates, and she has discovered this lifestyle about him, they would be more willing to reach back out. They will be trying to see him again. It's the absolute truth. And I realized this about myself, especially when I moved to Orlando. I was 23 years old, and I moved into like this luxury 2-bedroom apartment. I had no roommates, and I was dating and seeing women who were in there from like 19 to like 22. So these girls are like dealing with the college guys in dorm rooms, the frat boys, the guys who really don't have a lot going for themselves yet. And here I am, a 23-year-old, fresh out of college, in a luxury 2-bedroom apartment, had high social media status, living a good life for myself, having 2 cars. And so when these 19-year-old, 20-year-olds would see my lifestyle, not only were they already highly attracted to me because of how I got them, but also they really wanted to be a part and keep me within their life because they saw all the stuff that I had, right? So that's just what I've noticed, is that if you got your shit going good for you, it's easy for you to keep women within your life, all right? So that was the video for today, guys. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Peace.